I found a hidden room in my house. It shouldn't exist. I bought an old house last year, one of those creaky, too cheap to make sense deals that you just know has a history. But I was desperate, and the place had a strange charm to it. The floors groaned, the walls whispered in the wind, and sometimes at night, I swore I could hear faint shuffling somewhere beyond the walls. But old houses make weird noises, right? I convinced myself it was nothing, until I found the room. I was rearranging furniture in the guest bedroom, when I knocked a bookshelf too hard. Against the wall. The impact made a hollow sound, a very hollow sound. Confused, I knocked again. The noise was different from the rest of the wall. Something was behind it. I should have stopped there. But curiosity has always been my worst trait. It took a crowbar and a lot of effort. But eventually, the section of the wall gave way, revealing a doorway. There was no door, just a dark, yawning space that seemed to breathe cold air. My stomach twisted as I peered inside. It was a room. A hidden room that should not have been there. Inside, the walls were covered in old, decayed wallpaper that had once been white, but was now sickly yellow. The floor was coated in dust, yet something about it felt off, like it had been recently disturbed. But the worst part? The entire back wall was lined with mirrors. Tall, thin mirrors side by side reflecting the empty room back at me, except I wasn't in the reflection. I stared at the mirrors, my breath caught in my throat. The room was there, perfectly replicated. But I wasn't. The doorway behind me was reflected. The dust-covered floor. The dim glow of the hallway light stretching into the forbidden space. But I was missing. My legs locked in place as my mind struggled to rationalize what I was seeing. Maybe the mirrors were dirty. Maybe the angle was weird. Maybe... Then something moved. Not in my reality. In the reflection. I saw it, a figure stepping into the room. It moved cautiously, as if it was the one discovering the room for the first time. And then it stopped. Right where I was standing. My breath hitched, and the air in the room seemed to thin. I wanted to run, but my body refused to obey. The figure in the mirror slowly lifted its head. I couldn't make out a face, just a horrible absence. Then, as if noticing my presence, it tilted its head, and then it smiled. I stumbled backward, crashing into the wall behind me. The sound must have startled the thing, because its head snapped toward me, though I wasn't in the reflection. But somehow it knew I was there. And then it started moving toward the glass, not just in the reflection. Something moved behind the mirrors. I heard the faintest scrape of something pressing against the other side. A soft, deliberate sound, like fingers dragging against the glass.